The Galactic Council chamber was silent, colder than the vacuum outside. Every alien delegate sat frozen, their eyes fixed on the glowing holoscreen in the center. No one spoke. No one even breathed. They all knew something had gone terribly wrong, something they could not explain. The Council had made a simple mistake, a mistake that would change the galaxy forever. It began when a small research probe detected a strange energy signature near an uncharted system. The signature was so strong, so complex, that their scientists believed it had to be from an ancient supercivilization, something far older than the Council itself. Excited and curious, they sent a small investigation fleet to study it. But the moment the fleet arrived, fear replaced curiosity. The energy signature did not belong to ruins. It did not belong to an extinct species. It belonged to a living, active human machines, something so advanced that it broke every scientific law the Council knew. The ship didn't use normal engines. It didn't follow basic physics. It floated in space like a ghost, silent and unmoving, yet releasing more power than an entire star. Council scanners could not read it. Their sensors could not calculate it. Their weapons could not target it. And the biggest shock came when the machine changed shapes smoothly like liquid metal, responding to invisible commands. No known species had such technology. The fleet panicked. One captain made a mistake. He fired a warning shot. The moment the energy beam touched the human machine, reality itself, bent like the universe, was correcting their error. The beam vanished. Time around the ship rippled. The Council officers felt a chill. They had not discovered a relic. They had not discovered a weapon. They had discovered human technologies, something so impossible that it shouldn't exist in their galaxy. And now, that impossible machine had turned toward them. The Galactic Council's investigation fleet stopped moving. Every ship froze in space the moment the human machine turned toward them. It didn't accelerate. It didn't use thrusters. It simply shifted, as if space itself carried it forward. Admiral Riken, commander of the fleet, felt his 3 hearts beating fast. His screens showed impossible readings: gravity spikes, folded space, energy loops that should not exist. Even the oldest Council scientists could not explain what they were seeing. The human machine glowed with a soft blue light, like it was waking up from a long sleep. Then, it spoke. Not through radio. Not through translation waves. Not through telepathy. It spoke directly into their systems, rewriting the channels of their ships like it owned them. Identify yourselves. Unauthorized scan detected. State purpose. The voice was calm, cold. Human. Every officer on the bridge trembled. No machine should have been able to override their systems. The Council spent thousands of years perfecting their technology. Their security was supposed to be unbreakable. But this human construct bypassed everything like it was opening a simple door. Admiral Riken tried to answer, but the ship refused to transmit. The human machine had locked every control, every engine, every weapon. They were helpless. The glowing ship slowly unfolded its structure again, forming sleek wings and a single long spear-like shape. Like it was preparing for something. Warning. Defense mode active. Panic spread through the entire fleet. Had they triggered a weapon? Was it going to destroy them for the warning shot? Suddenly, the machine's light shifted from blue to deep red. Space behind it cracked like glass, revealing a dark, swirling gateway. The Council fleet watched in horror as massive shadows moved inside the portal. More human machines were coming, and these were much bigger. Admiral Riken had seen many strange things in his life, but nothing compared to the sight unfolding before him. The dark, swirling gateway behind the human machine expanded, stretching wider and wider. Space itself seemed to bend, as if afraid of what was coming through. Then the first shadow stepped out. It wasn't a ship, it was a titan. A colossal human war construct 10 times larger than any Council dreadnought merged slowly, its armor glowing with shifting patterns of white and gold. It looked ancient and new at the same time, like technology built beyond the edge of understanding. Its hull had no engines, no seams, no visible weapons. And yet, every alien watching felt its unstoppable power humming. From it like the heartbeat of a god. Behind it came another, and another. 3 giants stood in silent formation, watching the council fleet like judges examining a crime. The first machine, the smaller Guardian, transmitted a final warning. Interference detected. Defense protocol escalating. The giant's eyes' massive glowing blue cores lit up. Instruments on every council ship spiked into red alerts. Gravity surged. Time waves rippled around them. One engineer screamed as the readings went far beyond safe limits. The council fleet had never seen technology that could affect time. They believed no species could reach that level. Yet here it was. Right in front of them, Admiral Riken tried to hail the giants, but the communication system flickered with a single chilling message. Observation complete. What did that mean? Were they analyzing the fleet? Were they deciding something? Before he could react, the lead giant lifted its arm. A small sphere of light formed in its hand, silent, colorless, and terrifying. The council fleet braced for destruction, but the sphere simply floated away, drifting toward them slowly. Like a messenger, the giants did not move. The smaller machine waited. The council had no idea what the sphere contained, but they knew one thing. Humans hadn't come to attack. They had come to deliver a message, and the galaxy would never be the same. Again the sphere floated toward the fleet, its glowing light reflecting off the metal surfaces of the council ships. It was small, almost delicate, yet it held a power that made the entire fleet shudder. Every officer on every ship was on edge, unsure of what would happen next. Admiral Riken's mind raced. He had heard whispers of human technology, rumors of machines that could break the laws of physics, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. This wasn't a weapon. This wasn't an attack, it was a message. The sphere reached the middle of the fleet and stopped. For a moment, it hung there in silence, casting an eerie calm over the scene. Then, with a soft hum, the sphere began to pulse, sending out a signal across every ship in the fleet. Admiral Riken's control panel flickered, and a holographic image appeared in front of him. It was a human one who appeared strangely calm despite the situation. The image was projected from the sphere itself, as if the machine had read his thoughts and created this exact message for him. The human's voice echoed in the Admiral's mind, not through speakers, but directly in his consciousness. We have watched. We have waited. And now, we offer you a choice. Riken's heart skipped a beat. His mind struggled to comprehend the words. A choice? What could humans possibly offer? They had no idea of the power the Council wielded. This was a species barely known to them. And yet here they were, speaking as if they controlled everything. The human continued, voice cold and clear. Join us, or face extinction. The choice is yours. The signal ended. The sphere, having completed its message, began to fade, its light dimming as it returned to the human machine. The fleet remained frozen in place. The tension was unbearable. The galaxy stood on the edge of an impossible truth, and the Council had no idea how to respond. The Council fleet was paralyzed. The message was clear, but the weight of it was incomprehensible. Admiral Riken stood at the helm, his hands shaking, but his eyes never leaving the fading image of the human. The galaxy's most powerful beings were now faced with a choice. Join this mysterious force of humans or face the unknown consequences of refusing them. Riken could feel the tension growing, spreading through the fleet like an unseen storm. The officers around him were equally silent, unsure of what to say. No one had expected this. No one had ever considered that humanity, mere mortals in the eyes of the galaxy, would possess such overwhelming technology and the power to change the future of all species. Admiral, what do we do? One of his commanders asked quietly, her voice strained. How do we even respond to this? Riken swallowed hard, struggling to keep his composure. He glanced at the other ships in the fleet, silent, frozen in space, awaiting his decision. He had never felt so small, so powerless that the giants, the massive human war constructs, did not move. They stood there, waiting, watching, almost as if they were giving the Council time to decide. Their calm was chilling, as if they already knew the outcome. "We do nothing. For now," Riken finally said, his voice tight. "We observe, we wait, and we make our decision carefully." But deep inside, he knew that any response would be too late. The humans had already set their terms, and the galaxy's fate rested in their hands. For the first time, Riken questioned everything he had ever known about the galaxy, about power, and about the future. The reckoning had begun, and humanity was not the threat, it was the solution. Days passed, though it felt like years to the Galactic Council. In that time, the fleet remained still, hovering at the edge of the system where the human machines had appeared. The massive warships stood like silent sentinels, unmoving and unyielding. It was as if the entire galaxy was holding its breath, waiting for the next move. Admiral Riken couldn't sleep. His thoughts were consumed by the message from the human machine. What did they mean by join us, or face extinction? Were they truly offering an alliance, or was this a threat cloaked in diplomacy? The council convened once again, this time in a larger chamber, with representatives from every known species across the galaxy. The room was filled with whispers, hushed voices debating the human presence. Some called for immediate action and assault, an overwhelming display of force. Others were more cautious, warning of the consequences of angering such advanced beings. Riken stood before them all, the weight of the decision pressing down on his shoulders. He had never felt so out of control. He was a leader, a symbol of strength for the council, but in this moment, he was powerless. The humans had already shown they could bend the very fabric of space and time. They were no longer a species to be underestimated. The room fell silent as Riken raised his hand, signaling for attention. The voice of the council, once confident and commanding, now felt unsure. "We must consider the possibility that the humans are offering us a future where we are not the masters, but equals." His voice echoed in the chamber, and for a moment, it was as if the galaxy itself paused, unsure of what would come next. "This is our choice," Riken continued, "and it will change everything." In that moment, the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The humans had already made their move. Now, it was the council's turn.